G'day, welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave, and I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this one-shot Call of Cthulhu. Today we are playing a single scenario called Blackwater Creek. It's one of two scenarios contained in the Keeper Screen pack, and you can get your own copy from chaosium.com, either PDF or digital. No, that is digital. PDF or physical, and it's a Keeper Screen. So there's a whole bunch of cool stuff in there. All of our other live plays and things are on the YouTube, and this will be bound for there as well. And if you want to join us live, we do stream each Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific at the moment, but that's bound to change. Thank you to Roll20 and Sirenscape for being great tools which we use to run our game. And just for the general, the larger campaign, we will be back to that. Not next week, which we are taking off, but the following, where we'll return with chapter 4 of A Time to Harvest. We're using the next 2 weeks. We're going to run a one-shot this week, and next week we're going to be off to just kind of prep the campaign and get everything lined up, all of our ducks in a row, that sort of thing. So, without further ado, I'll set our scene and our three of you can introduce your investigators. So, you are all playing gangsters sent by mob boss Declan McBride out to harass and ultimately steal a rival gang's whiskey operation. As the story begins, the three of you are driving into Blackwater Creek. It is this run-down, out-of-the-way little village. All of the buildings are falling down. There is a dried creek bed which runs through the town, and the children that play in the mud outside are squinting up at you through puffy cheeks and messy hair. Your objective this session is to locate the Carmody brothers and persuade them to sell their whiskey to a more legitimate businessman, that being Mr. Declan McBride. You are not to kill them. You are not to harass them to a point where they will not make any deals in the future. You are to persuade them with all of the skill that I'm sure you'll apply to the situation. So as you pull in, you have your own car. It's just the three of you. There's no taxi or anything. If each of you can introduce your investigators and let us know what they look like. Art, do you want to begin with Mickey Valentine?
Hi, I am Art, this guy right here, and I am playing Mickey Valentine, who I believe was described as a motherfucker with a gun.
What up?
Yeah. That is the entirety of what I know about my character and what I will be doing today. Ruthless motherfucker with a gun. I'm sorry, I missed a word.
Hell
yeah. Yep. Mickey, I don't know, just average looking gangster dude. Like in the suit and the tie and the like suspenders and whatever, and you know, I think probably has the like fedora hat thing going on. I don't, because I've got headphones on. And he is very good with both. My cat is going apeshit in the background. I'm so sorry. He's discovered one of my makeup sponges and has just decided to bat that around the house. So good times. Yeah, he is very proficient with both like handguns and rifles / shotguns. So I definitely think he's got at least a pistol tucked away. I'll check his character sheet, see if he's got, I don't know, a fucking shotgun somewhere. But he is getting out of the car, looking around and kind of like sneering a little at the scene, very sort of like, all right, let's get this done.
How did you handle the quite long car ride? You guys left break of dawn this morning and it's now pushing 3 p.m, stinking hot. You've been jammed in here for several hours with the other two.
I reckon he has taken over the back seat. He's leaning up against one window. He's got his feet up on like the armrests or like the door handle of the other bit. And he's just been like picking his teeth with a toothpick. And like he's got his hat slightly down over his eyes. He's just been like kind of non-committally making grunts if anyone tries to talk to him. But otherwise he's just been keeping himself to himself. Because, you know, one of them's a kid and the other one's, well, a lawyer. Whatever.
Who are you going to talk to? Yeah, you're the one that's going to get things done. All right, perfectly. Speaking of kids and lawyers, Jackson, do you want to introduce Manny?
I'm the lawyer. I'm not the kid. Hey, I'm Jackson. I'm playing Manny. Oh, I'm playing Manny Ziegler, who is a gentleman in his 50s who is slightly balding, slightly tubby, but you know, silver-tongued, sharp-tongued. I use the word tongue twice, but that's all right. I think I got away with it. And he is Declan McBride's personal lawyer, as he has been for several years, and Manny knows to go to him when he needs problems solved.
Why have you been sent out here to, you know, harass whiskey still runners?
We're taking over a business operation, right? And there's certain things you need to do to make sure that if the business operation is in fact, you know, whiskey, then there's a lot of law and accounts involved. Need I say more?
No, you needn't. So you're here to make this legitimate, is that right? You're going to give them a contract, and when they stick a gun in their teeth, you're going to say, sign here.
Well, keep it legitimate as far as the cops can tell. Yeah. That's all there is to it.
Of course, this whiskey, this being prohibition, is hella illegal. So, but you know, you'll make sure the papers get shuffled around. I do wonder, you know, are you a good lawyer? Why are you running with gangs? Why aren't you, you know, posted up in a very tall skyscraper making big decisions?
That's a good question. Fell into his lap. It worked out pretty well. Yeah, I think he was probably intimidated into the line at first, you know, gun to the back of his head, but then it turned out it can make a little bit more money, a lot easier this way.
Hell yeah, gotta make a buck. All right, perfect. And finally, Jim, do you want to introduce Stanley?
Absolutely, yes. I am James, and I am playing Stanley Corrigan, and I'm the best driver that ever was. I've got my hands posted up on the wheel, I'm speeding along, I have a huge drive auto skill. It's kind of my thing, so I like to take the turns a little fast. Sometimes I even look away from the road, but I only do it to glare across at Manny. There's two things I hate in this world: lawyers and Manny. And I'm making sure I really let him know that he's not welcome in my car. If it wasn't that we had to do this damn job, yeah, I'd be booting him out on the side of the road, preferably as we're going about 100 miles an hour.
Phenomenal. What does Stanley look like?
You know, he's tall, broad. He's none of those things. He's very, very short. He's very, very whiny, but he's got that kind of like violent need to let you know who he is and that he's here and he's in control. So he's very in your face, like a little bottle of lightning tossed into the middle of any room he's in.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, great. So as Stanley pulls in with Manny on the side into Blackwater Creek, Art?
I looked at my character sheet.
Yep.
I have a 38 and a 303.
Oh, nice. So you got a
I can go
rifle.
fucking like deer hunting.
Hell yeah.
People are going to become mesh. Yeah, just a nice little 308 for, you know, popping off some pigs.
I love it. So as the car, you've pulled off like the main road and you're rumbling along this little dirt track. It goes over the named after Blackwater Creek, but it is run dry. Just, you can see like black cracks of mud along the side of it, and down hunched in the tall grass, you can see a kid, maybe 8 or 9, with long, like matted hair, picking through the mud and pulling apart like these little grub things and just squeezing them until they pop. You roll over the bridge and begin to wind in towards the town itself. It's a squat little nest of hovels, maybe 6 or 8 homes. There's a church, but it's run down and the doors are closed, and inside it's just black and dusty. There's a small general store off to one side, and seated out front of it is a short man with like suspenders over a dirty white shirt, who's pulling them away and letting them snap back across his flesh. And inside you can see piles of boxes where they sell general commerce. There is also a sheriff seated up underneath one of the houses. It doesn't look like it's a a sheriff building so much as just his home that he operates out of. But he's got the little tin star and he's got a hat, which he has pushed far back on his head. He's an older man. You'd actually probably guess he's 60s, pushing towards his 70s. Graying hair, but a pistol at his hip. As far as like general people, there's a couple families walking about, but you can see that this probably serves as like a community gathering point for the farms in the area. Few people would actually live in the village themselves, but there's a couple of families coming and going, and you see a few kids gathered underneath in the shade as it's 4 p.m. and quite warm. There's a couple of kids gathered in the shade underneath one of the verandas, and they've got a jar which they're catching bugs in. And as you like pull the car up along the side and you all get out and stretch, you see them catch a couple of bugs, and then once they're inside, they begin to fight over who gets them. And as they shake it back and forth, you can see the bugs inside getting rattled about inside the glass jar.
That's a metaphor for something if I ever heard one, but I don't know what.
I leave it with the three of you. What do you want to do?
I'll bring the car to a halt as we all usher out and get out. I might sardonically turn towards Manny and say, well, you know, I got us here, and well, Mickey does the business end of things, so I guess it's over to you now to do exactly what is it you do again. Where next, boss?
Do we have any context, or are we just like rocking up here blind?
You're rocking up blind. I mean, you so your boss, McBride, like abducted basically a driver and shook him down. And you guys came in and saw, you know, blood-stained back room where this dude was interrogated. Pretty brutal. And the driver ultimately gave up Blackwater Creek as the source of their new whiskey run, which has been just selling very well in Boston. So with that information and the name Carmody Brothers, you've been sent to Blackwater Creek to take over the operation. But that's pretty much all you've got. I mean, presumably they might have contacts in the village. They probably have a farm of their own. You just don't know.
I'd like to start with the sheriff. Want to get a read on his character, know exactly what it is he does around here, and hopefully it's not much.
Want to go talk to the sheriff? That seems... surely you want to keep a low profile, no?
I need to talk to him. Just want to get a read on him, see if he's any good at his job. If he is, then we changes our approach.
Well, no offense or nothing, but if you're gonna do that, then maybe Mickey and I go find somewhere, see if we can, you know, lurk out of sight a little bit. We don't tend to do so well around sheriffs, you know.
That's fine. I do.
I'm sure you do. Yeah. Mickey, should we go try get a drink? Maybe we can track the source of where this thing is that way. That we just, you know, find the local whatever and say we're a bit thirsty.
All right, kid.
Okay, rousing success. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
I would like to take a pass at everything and just like Mickey's not been paying attention. He's done the thing where he's just scanned the horizon with, as written in my character sheet, cold, dead eyes.
Hell yeah.
I read it and it's like, he's tall, dapper, impassive. I'm like, oh no, we have a psychopath on our hands, everybody. It's going to be great. Has no empathy for anyone. That's actually written in his character. It's good.
Your eyes are so terrifying. They actually get a call out in my character.
Oh my god, you've leapt across paper.
Yep. So I've done the like scan the horizon kind of to see if anything stands out, but also just like, you know, that wonderful gangster intimidation.
Okay, awesome. So imagine, you know, the car pulls up and it's this shiny flash Boston car and you all step out and immediately the three of you are marked by everyone around. Stanley, you sort of like, you know, shut the wheel and then kick the wheels, shut the door and kick the wheels, make sure everything's in order. And then you begin to talk as Mickey posts up along the side, tips back the hat and surveys the surrounds. Is there anything particular you're looking for? Do you want to try and get a read on the people? Are you looking at the farms in the distance and trying to, you know, get an estimate of how many people are around or like buildings?
I'm looking for... I mean, I'm probably angling for a spot hidden here. I'm looking for things that are like unusual, out of place, might lead us in a specific direction. But also, like, honestly, it's a threats thing. It's who's paying attention to us and are they a problem?
Okay. What I would say is, do you want to make a psychology roll if it's
I want to spot hidden, please.
Okay, go for spot hidden. Different information.
Yeah, that's fine. My psychology is 10. My spot hidden is not. Oh, rude. Not a fumble, though.
No, but close. All right, taking a look around, the sun's sort of like bouncing off things, and around here, there's a lot of shadows that get cast by these really tall, strangely fertile trees. They're like almost bulging with liquid inside, and thick leaves that catch the sun and mottle it as it's cast towards the ground. There's a lot of places where people could hide, and all of the folks around here just seem strange. This is backcountry things. You're a city gangster. This whole thing's got you uncomfortable, and you know that probably every mum and pup around here is sporting a gun. Not to mention that they're all looking at you three as well. You're clearly the focus of attention at the moment, apart from the kids arguing over the bugs underneath the porch. You've been spotted. And if they want to take things hostile, they've got the numbers.
Well, if anyone actually catches my eye, I will just stare them down unblinking until they look away.
Okay.
And then continue looking around.
All right. What's the split? Manny, you wanted to go and talk to the sheriff. Stanley and Mickey, you wanted to, I guess, general store maybe? Or do you want to just talk around to a random local?
There's not a diner by any chance, is there?
No.
Nah.
No, it doesn't. The general store is probably the closest thing that runs to that.
Yeah, okay, let's go to the general store. That sounds sensible.
Okay. All right.
Get some sandwiches.
I'll stop briefly to pull out a velvet towelette and buff out some minute detail on the car before that's okay, it's okay. And then we'll dart along.
Perfect. So the two of you head towards the general store, and Manny, you walk up towards the sheriff. Manny, as you approach, the sheriff sitting in a rocking chair on his porch. There's a pistol at his hip, and leant up against the door, there is an old broom with most of the bristles gone, and a weathered-looking rifle with a small box of rounds seated just next to it. The box is faded, and a couple of the rounds have spilled out along it. He creaks back and forth as he watches you approach, and his eyes squint even tighter in the sun to make you out. He does not speak first.
Good morning, sir.
Evening.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
It's all right.
Is it evening?
It's afternoon, really.
Fantastic.
Sun's high.
What are you doing in town?
Well, my name is John Stewart, Esquire. I represent a wealthy client from New York City who is thinking about purchasing a country getaway here in your charming village, and I have been sent ahead of time to make sure it's a suitable abode. Can you tell me a little about the character of the town?
Town's been here for a long time. We've gotten comfortable, settled in amongst the reeds, and I'm not used to people coming by. I haven't sold anything in some years. May I ask who your employer is?
You may not. By which I mean, you may ask, and I am not in the liberty to tell you.
Fucking so good, dude. Do you want to give me a what's your social skill of choice? I could see persuade here. I could see fast talk. The slowest fast talk that's ever been employed.
It really is it's the two people with the most droniest and competing to be the flattest.
Well, that's the thing. It's
with all a flat out lie as well. None of that.
Yeah,
your name was real.
Great. It feels like it's fast talk, right?
Yeah, or persuade. I mean, you haven't.
Well, take persuade. You're gonna give me this.
You're not trying to run him in circles or anything. You're just telling him the. Ooh. Okay.
I see.
I
am tempted to push this right out of the gate.
Okay, so his response is to try and shut down and say,
We don't get strangers around here. Nothing really comes through. You keep moving and tell your employer we don't want his money.
What's your angle for pushing it?
Yes, I'll take out a couple of dollars and see how he reacts, and then he'll either, change his tune, or he'll be outraged and throw me out. Right?
Okay. Awesome. The other one would be to move to threaten him with your gangster ties, but I can absolutely take either.
Yeah. No, we'll keep my gangsters in the back pocket for now.
Keep the gangsters in the back pocket. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna peel off a couple of dollar bills and say, understand my client is very keen to compensate people who help him.
Go for it. Go ahead and push that roll.
Nice.
Okay. You peel them away and pass them across to him. There is a pause before he does reach out and takes it and folds it over, puts it in his pocket, and it's the only clean thing on his person.
What do you want to know?
In particular, my client is concerned about the peace and quiet enjoyment of the town. Are there any criminal activities we should be aware of before we investigate purchasing property further?
He says, people here are good people, holy people, and they hold themselves to a standard higher than your ruthless cities. That said, we've had folks come in, buy property a few years back, and they don't hold themselves to our standards. You'd steer clear of them.
You have trouble?
Some trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Folks moving through, selling things that they shouldn't be, disrupting the peace.
I understand. You said the property had been sold most recently a few years ago. Where was that?
He'll say there's a couple farms outside of town. There's a couple that were just sold and seem to be legitimate, but after a bit of talking, one of them is, he will mention the Carmody brothers bought it about 5 years back, and he does not seem to be a fan of them.
Do I get the vague direction of the farm?
Oh yeah, he'll give you the direction just up the way. It is quite a ways out. It'll be about an hour or so drive, and he has not been up there in quite some time.
Okay. Thank you for your help today. My card. Any property should come up.
He takes the card and leans back in the chair to rest against the wall.
It's of course the fake card with the fake name that I just mentioned and made up and I've already forgotten. But you know, it's well prepared.
Pretty sure it was John Stewart something the third.
John Stewart Esquire. Well, Esquire in England means like a gentleman, like a landed gentleman, but in America it means lawyer. There you go.
Okay,
the things you learn, the more you know.
You have an address, and as you step back down off the porch, Sheriff's continuing to watch you. Mickey and Stanley, you head in towards the general store. It's faded, worn down, a lot of wooden boxes stacked up around it. You can see inside there's like some rope and things, but actually it does not look like it's used even by the locals very frequently. The man with the suspenders out the front, a little like pork pie hat, walks up to you as you come in, and he says, well, hello. We don't get people coming through here very often. What can I do for you?
Hi there. Nice to meet you. I'm just looking for, get a packet of beef jerky, 2 packets of cigarettes, and I got a terrible thirst,
You're thirsty, are you?
I'm really thirsty. You selling me anything I could drink to quench that thirst?
You ain't, You ain't one of Waylon's men, are you? You don't look familiar.
I'm sorry, what, Wayland? I've never, this is my first time in town.
Okay. Can you make a fast talk roll, or immediately you begin to, he seems a little bit suspicious of you. What do you
That's all right. I'll go the fast talk route. Okay. Let's go. I was terrified for a second when I saw 2 fails. I was going, oh no, it's a one shot. We're going to get 16 consecutive fails again. But fortunately,
just keeps.
We're in a spree of successes, except for that one.
Push it. You have your
rolls are awful.
Not a fumble.
Not a fumble, but
he, as you come in at first, he seems to be like very, like kind of doing the like, oh, we don't get strangers often. Then he seems to like note your, your appearances and your flash car, maybe even marks the accent. He will ask if you're Wayland's, which that name rings a bell. That is the rival gangster who runs with the people here.
I was playing before.
I get you. He begins to clam up, and at this point he says, no. Listen, I don't recognize either of you. I don't want trouble with your kind. No offense. Why don't you go outside? Take this up outside.
listen, I don't know what we've done to offend you, but I'm just asking a couple of questions here. Listen, I'm in a pickle. Can't you just help me out a little? Whatever confusion is here, I'm sure we can sort it out. Frankly, you're behaving a little strangely, sir. I'd like to push the roll. But,
okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing to push it?
I think I am going to throw him off by saying like okay, well, forget the drink. I'll also grab, what about one of those? And I guess I'll need a few. I start buying out like a few things and make it look like a shopping trip. And then I'm going to slip in the drink at the end one more time again, as if I'd just forgotten it and it was in passing.
Okay, Marcus, what I'm trying to figure out is what is the added risk from pushing this roll that's not there? Because they're kind of just like rolling again.
Yeah, I guess the added risk would be.
Do you want to threaten him? Do you want to, I
was just assuming that he'd get very pissed at me for doing it as a general added risk. In terms of actually throwing something out, you know what? I can't think of a good push for this, so I think that maybe I failed this. I'll grumble to myself and step back outside.
Okay. He seems to be. He does push the two of you out towards the back. You notice the interior is dusty, very infrequently used, and he seems nervous now that he's pegged you as city folk. And they probably get very few people coming through here, and what few do are probably tied to the operation. Mickey, what are you doing as this happens?
Standing and watching and waiting to see if this man does anything aggressive. If all he does is like attempt to usher us out. If Stanley moves to leave, Mickey will also leave. If Stanley tries to get himself in the way and do anything intimidating, which doesn't sound like he has, then I might do something. But otherwise, no. I will just leave. If the guy tries to literally like usher us and like push us out, like looks like he's going to put hands on, there is an absolute look of like, don't.
Wouldn't do that.
No, wouldn't recommend it.
He looks more afraid of you than like... As he goes to usher you out, it's very much like, he's just going, no, sorry, I don't have anything. And he's like got hands up. He's not coming forward to like be aggressive, but he is very much like blocking you off and not talking any further. Just walking you towards the door with his, move.
I think I would like kind of as he begins to be like, no, I want to pull out like twice as much as it's necessary, put it down on the counter and just say cigarettes. Thank you.
Okay.
Slide it.
As he goes out, he reaches up and gets a box and pulls it down. And when he fumbles inside, he gets a box of cigarettes and passes them across to you before taking the bills. They are like faded, and I don't know if cigarettes expire. I imagine they probably do. They are like old, maybe like 8 years old or something, like just disgusting looking. He pushes them towards you and goes, get out.
I kind of look down at them, pick them up, put them in my jacket pocket. Thank you. And then walk out. Didn't need the cigarettes. It was purely just a,
power play.
Obnoxious thing to do.
As you get outside, the door is closed. There's no latch on the interior, but you hear the wood sort of like get wedged up against the inside, and then footsteps receding. As you walk out towards the car and Manny steps down from the sheriff to join you, you will hear from around the back a small like something being scraped, and then the man begins to take off down the street. Not a great speed, but he is on a bicycle. And he is heading in the general direction, Manny, of where you are now aware the Carmody Farm is.
If you permit me a retrospective roll,
yeah.
I also wanted to get a read on the sheriff and see if he's any good
Okay.
at his job. See like what kind of level of enforcement there is in this town.
I mean, there's 3 gangsters that just roll into town, and so clearly he's.
Yes, you can make a roll for that. So in that case, as you look back and survey the town and see how it flows. Mickey and Stanley, as you come out and walk towards Manny, by the car, are the kids. One of them has now moved over towards the car and is seated underneath it. The other 2 are in the mud just nearby, and the jar that had the bugs in it they were fighting over has broken at some point. And now the kid is sitting in the mud underneath one of the wheels with a shard of glass, and he's got it up against the paint, and he's scratching something into the side of the car.
Panic and rush him.
So Stanley rushes over.
I will walk, I will stride towards the child as well.
Okay. Manny, what role did you want to make for getting a read on the town? Psychology?
Psychology on the sheriff in particular. Can you read on the law enforcement in the town?
Okay, go for it. Make that roll.
Failure. We're doing well.
It's one of those. It's one of those sessions.
You have so much luck, though.
I do. I'll give you 6 points. Just
Sure,
to know,
go for it.
what kind of thing are we going to run up against when we start shooting?
Given this is a one shot, let's do double points for luck. So 2 for
heck
each
you.
decrease. So do 12 if you want to do that. But you'll burn through it this session. Okay. Your read on him is he, with the success and everything, he seems to be. You get the read. This is not the first time he's dealt with people of your stylings. They probably come through. And he does seem very possessive of the people here. He also looks probably, with how he was just like casually with the gun and everything, he looks practiced and probably capable. But he's the only lawman here. And the fact that he's having trouble or concerns with the Carmody brothers does imply that he doesn't have control over that situation. If the three of you started getting up to trouble, it'd probably be him and rallying like a town militia or some of the locals, other farmhands, anyone willing to carry a gun.
Right, so good to know.
Okay. All right. Stanley, you walk over towards the kid and Mickey's nearby. Mickey and Manny are all
terrified. I went, get away from me! Get away, you stupid kid! Get the hell away! And I'll start trying to bat him off.
As you bat him, he turns around. He's got the glass shut, and he gets pushed a little bit. And this kid's maybe like 6 or 7. He's got chubby little cheeks, and you can see they're pockmarked all across it. And he's got greasy brown hair, and his shirt is probably like his father's or something. It's much too large for him. As he gets pushed away, he goes, "Don't push me, you nasty fellow! I'll stab you."
I think I'm too overwhelmed by the sight of it. Look what you've done! Look at I'm really upset.
Mummy,
Overly so.
my mother lets me draw wherever I want, and I want to draw here. So don't stab me. Don't move any closer. I'll stab you, and I'll drain your ties.
I'm gonna walk over and lift this kid up by the scruff of his neck.
He moves to stab you with the shard.
Oh my God,
Do you want to make a
this kid.
contesting fighting brawl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that. I mean, the alternative is dodge. Just like to get
Yeah,
at, like
up
to
to you, up to
keep
you.
him at arm's length.
I think this is more like he's trying to like lash you as you hit him. He is not greatly skilled, and you have the build on him. What is your build, just by the way?
0. My build's-
Okay, he
but I
is
am
-1,
an adult.
so you can roll with a bonus dice
All right.
as he tries to stab you.
Amazing. Love a good 45
It
success.
just says the child does fail. So as you go to lift him up by the scruff, he straight up swings at you with the glass shard, but you've got him like at the scruff, and he's completely incapacitated now. As he swings at you, "Don't let me down, you nasty gentleman." The other 2 kids, one's a girl with like braided hair that's like really long, goes all the way down to the ground to drag in the mud, are both standing underneath the veranda watching this happen. And one goes, "Petey, don't stab them. Please, sir, just let him down. He didn't mean to do it. His mummy lets him draw where he wants." "Put me down or I'll stab you."
Well, your mother is clearly a fucking idiot.
"Don't talk about my mummy that way. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Please, just put him down. We'll take him home. He didn't mean to do it. Or if he did, it was a mistake, sir." One of them's like kind of close to you, Manny, and goes, "Please, sir, you seem sensible. We'll take him home at once, and his mummy will discipline him."
think they have the situation under control, gentlemen, as Manny finishes writing an invoice for the damages. Hands it to the child, because he's had all the cars fixed. He does all the accounting. He knows exactly how much that scratch is going to cost at the body shop. So he writes down that exact amount.
It's not about
$3.42.
The damage done to the car is priceless.
Oh, yeah, Stanley, what are you doing? So, Mickey, you've got this kid who's continuing to swing at you with this shard of glass. There's the girl with the very long braids standing next to Manny. She's been given the invoice, and she for sure can't read. So she takes it, and immediately, like, mud and, like, dirt begins to get all over it, and she's just looking at it, like, bewildered, but kind of just accepting, like, okay, this is just something you've given me. I guess this is my responsibility now. Stanley, what are you doing?
I loudly lamenting, bent down, hunched, trying to keep wiping my hand over the scratched mark, trying to like see if it'll just vanish. Is it a word? Is it anything that I can?
Yeah. As you crouch down, it's a long line. It's not a word, but it does seem to be. Like, it was definitely drawing a determined shape. Do you have any navigate or natural world?
Let me take a look. I have...
You could also try psychology for the kid.
I have pretty good navigate. I'll go with that if that's all right.
Please make a navigate roll.
That is a success.
It appears to be the general shape of the... Is it eponymous, the word for it? Blackwater Creek. Like, they're named after... Is that what eponymous means? I don't know. Anyway, it seems to be Blackwater Creek, and what he's drawn is, it's like a long line, and it seems to be, he's like begun to like circle around like the highest point, which would probably be like further... It seems to go up towards like hills. And he's also drawn a jagged mark along it about halfway. You're not exactly sure what the symbols of it mean, but he seems to be... So he's drawn... There's the line, which signifies the whole creek. There's a hash across about halfway, and there's something at the top, which is beginning to turn like a bulbous stalk, where he circles it.
This guy, at this stage, I think this kid is just scribbling. I mean, it's a map of Blackwater Creek, but it's probably just his house or a location that he thinks is exciting.
The kid spits at you when you're on the ground. Don't touch my art.
I would like to slap this kid across the face.
It's just backhand this little child.
No, I'm not going to backhand. It's open palm.
Okay.
It is, you have done something wrong, not I'm trying to hurt you. There's a difference.
When you hit him, his cheek is spongy and slightly porous and wet. It is an uncomfortable experience for both parties. The child lets out like a little squeal, and the girl holding the invoice says, "Good, hit him again."
Look, we need to move this car and get away from these goddamn kids. Okay, just everybody get in. Everybody get in.
I'm gonna look at the kid and go, and I'm changing accent because it's gonna be easier. Don't touch things that aren't yours, you little shite. And then I'll, like, literally, like, I won't even put him down. I will sort of, like, toss him a bit so that he goes from my arm height or a bit higher down. And then I will open the back door and get in the car.
He drops into the mud, and you can see him, like, pulling himself up. He's just completely coated in it. And he says, "When Mummy finds you, you'll be punished for that." And the girl says, "Petey, Mummy will punish you as well. Come on, we best get home." "Thank you for the paper, sir. We'll see this paid as soon as possible." She takes it, and she steps back, and Petey, like, rolls over in the mud and begins to hoik himself up. What are the three of you want to do?
I want to get Manny in this car as quickly as possible, and I want to get going because I'm afraid this kid's going to run at us with a shard of glass again. So let's get moving, and I'm just going to get us out of town, and we can talk for a second.
Okay.
I'd recommend going after the man on the bicycle.
Ding ding.
Bicycle. Okay. We can do that. What?
I have directions to the brother's estate.
Really? That looks like you fit in with all these locals, Manny. Well done.
Yes, indeed. Also, the sheriff doesn't seem to have an iron fist on the town. I think if any trouble happens, we should be able to handle ourselves as far as law enforcement is concerned.
Assuming you pull out and you begin to follow the general direction of the bicycle and towards the Carmody brothers, which are one and the same. And as you drive, you can talk. You quickly leave the couple of people behind, and you're driving through like tall cornstalk fields. Occasionally, a large tree dots it as you begin to head along. What
the man on the bicycle, he's on a bike, so I imagine he's slower than us, but he got a pretty decent head start.
Yeah, but you're definitely faster. I will get you to make a drive order roll as you go along. But is there anything you want to say first?
So they just told you. I mean, that's fantastic. If we know where the place is, we can go and we can scope it out, and we can start this conversation.
It's true.
Get out of this town as quickly as possible. I like it. Good job.
You didn't find anything else yourselves? That's fine. Good thing I was here.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, Mickey, I guess once we get over there, it's going to be kind of over to you about how we want to do things. You're the expert in all of that.
What are you suggesting?
Well, I mean, we go in. I mean, once we figure out that there's not, a dozen of them in there with Tommy guns, we go in and we explain very politely to them that there's been a change of management.
Right.
You had the contracts prepared. You just need to convince them to sign away their business to us.
Okay.
It'll all be above board as far as the police are concerned.
How big of a convincing do you want?
Let's say 10% over what's necessary.
Bring the 303.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So in the back seat, Vicky begins to like unfurl the canvas and clean the gun and assemble
Click
it.
it together, just get everything sorted, yeah.
Fuck yeah. So you're still like lounging across, very casual, like the hat on and everything.
Yeah, just the hat
So
down, just
sick.
like, so it's assembling it like as he's sort of reclined over the back seat, and it's just like reaching down, pulling it from where like, if you're sitting upright, your feet would be, and just like pulls another bit, you just hear like a very, like a, slight sounds of like metal and wood, and then a very ominous click as things get like put into place, and then definitely that sound of like at one point a magazine getting shunted into place as well.
Fuck yeah. Stanley, you drive Manny's in the front seat. You're beginning to move along through these cornfields. Occasionally, like a couple of leaves like lash across the front, the wheels are not completely suited to the train, but you're humming along fine. You're gaining on this man in the bicycle who you'd lost sight of, but as you come around a corner, you see him further down a flat stretch of road. As he looks back, he's got the little, like the hat squeezed down tight over his head. He looks back in panic, and then his legs start to go faster, and then as you begin to gain on him, he looks and veers it, and it flies off the side of the road along the ground and then begins to bounce along it, and then he turns again and he goes into a cornfield along one of the rows and begins to drive his little bicycle along it, trying to outpace you. Do you want to pursue, or do you want to leave him be?
I think for a moment I like stop looking out the window. I will turn back to the others and say, the maniac. I'm thinking we go to the farmhouse, but if the other two want to say after the man on the bike, I'm happy to. But
like you said, you're good at navigation. The angle he's taking, you were getting closer to the farmhouse, is he's headed towards it. He's taking a shortcut through the fields to the farmhouse.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess if we want to get to the farmhouse before him, so I suppose
Well, there's two ways.
I love
There
this
are
whole
two
conversation
ways-
is happening as he's... But
Yeah,
again,
he's
he's
just
so
like-
slow. Like, if you just turn over, you're going to get him in a second. And also, Mickey, you've got to... you could see him down this corner.
I think that's why he just looks and like Mickey goes, well, there's two ways to stop him, and just like will lean out the window and like point a fucking rifle at the back of this guy and just look like unless someone's like, no, don't do it, he's absolutely
hold on.
gonna practice.
If he knows where the farmhouse is, he can give us a little more information before we get there.
Plus, it's kind of funny. I'll turn the car and start following along behind him. I think I don't overtake him. I think I actually kind of just follow in his wake.
Mickey would just like
do that?
very passive, like very calmly, very unemotively, just like take the rifle out from the window and just like pop it back down in his lap, and then pull out a handgun instead and just wait.
Okay.
Just kind of like checking it over, and then just like sits there and just waits. Like leans his head against the side of the gun, not the end.
Hell yeah.
Just like.
The car veers off the side and begins to drive along the cornrows. They were space enough for a bicycle to squeeze through, not for a car. So you're now just running over these things as they like slap against the screen and they get dragged underneath it as you gain. And all you can see with like corn stalks, a narrow view with the bicycle in the distance slowly approaching. Stanley, can you give me a drive auto roll? As this is not what the car was built for. You muted.
You're muted, Jim.
Sorry, it is what I was built for. That's a regular success from me.
Nice.
Yeah, you begin to gain on him, and you can now make out a couple of buildings in the distance with the sun beginning to move down behind them. But you gain on him before he gets there. As you can just kind of match speed behind him as he's pedaling, and you are just behind him.
Do we go like side by side?
I would genuinely just if you have a good enough drive auto roll, smack the back of his bicycle. It'll stop him dead.
No, let's pull up alongside and see what he can tell us.
All right, I'll pull up alongside him, open the window, and say, "Buddy, you want a lift?"
Okay. You pull up alongside, slamming down corners as he goes. He looks over towards you. No. He tries to pedal faster.
Come right in. It's fine. It's fine.
He tries to pedal faster, but you easily match it. Do you want to make does someone make an intimidation roll? I think with a bonus dice. I think is really what's called for here.
I mean, my intimidation's pretty good, but I haven't done anything thus far.
You can. He looks back and you're in the window, and you tap the gun on the glass.
Yeah,
would do it.
I'll just tap the gun, and then like begin to roll down the window.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Make an intimidation roll with a bonus dice, please.
Oh,
nice.
Straight out the gate. Yeah.
Okay.
Hard success. I don't know why this is. Oh no, there we go. We're all good.
He like tries to pedal faster for a bit. You catch up, and then you go ahead just for Mickey to reach over and tap the glass. He yelps and tries to veer away, hits a cornstalk, and just eats it, falling down into the grass, and his bike like scatters a little bit. He lands in the mud and begins to scramble up and quickly sees himself. He just goes, no, I'd love a lift. I'd love a lift.
Great. Get in.
On board with the ridiculous gangsterness, I will lean out. I grab like one of the corn stalks and tear off a shuck of corn or something like that to spookily eat at it as I go, get on in.
Where are we going?
Well, we're heading up to the farmhouse just up there.
Oh.
Where we know the operation is.
Listen,
we figured that since you were heading up that way too, and fast, you could explain to us exactly what your involvement is.
Listen, I don't want to get caught in the middle of this. We had an arrangement where I store some things for them and I let them know if people come into town. That's all I was doing. I'm hardly involved in any of this, sir.
Stanley, as you've grabbed, you've gotten this like shuck of corn, you pulled it down and pried it off. It is this like fat yellow cob, and where each of the kernels normally turn like these little pearls on the end, they've all grown bulbous and elongated and sort of like odd, not uniform shapes, but all like overly large. As you pull it off, it's immediately one of the kernels like pops against your hand where you squeeze it, and this like almost pus like fluid drains a little bit down your wrist and drips to the ground.
No.
You also can't help but notice that around you throughout the field there's vermin. Rats scurry up stalks and like humming flies all around you, and you actually see a snake, also like overly fat for its dimensions. Like it's only about that long, but it's also like quite thick. It like through the thing, almost like a large leech moves around some of the corn and scurries away.
This
Snakes
place is disgusting. I'll take a look at the corn, toss it down. And I'll say, well, you put yourself right into the middle of this, so why don't you turn around and go back? But first of all, how many in the farmhouse?
Well, there's the brothers, but I haven't seen Brendan in some time. Damien and Brendan, there's his father, but he's not well. They've also got two hired hands, but they're just gangsters. They're thugs, really. And they're armed. So if this is gonna turn nasty, it'll turn real nasty.
All right. Well, Manny, he's part of the operation, so have him sign, and then we can get going.
No, it's fine. We just need the business owners.
I'm barely involved, honest.
All right, we'll get out of here. Go back the way you came.
Mickey, did you want to say something? Or clarify? Okay. He like scurries back and then he begins to go a little way before realizing he's way out of time. Comes back and he gets his bike and like does the awkward like wheels it round and begins to move along. He gets off it and gets onto it and begins to pedal away, squeezing his hat down tighter and receding into the distance.
I'd like.
What's up with this field? Is that what you're gonna ask?
No, I was gonna say, is there a point at which he like before he sort of like gets off on his like bicycle that I could, I don't know, take out the back tire?
Oh yeah. Do you want to roll for? Do you want to make a rifle shot? This is a
handgun or rifle.
Depends what you use, I suppose.
I probably like handgun if he's close enough, just to, like line up and go.
I will say this is probably hard. Given I'll give you a penalty dice rather, giving it's a moving target. But it's probably within your wheelhouse, yeah?
Put it this way, if it misses, it was a warning shot.
Yeah, hell yeah. And if it fumbles, it's a...
Fuck off.
Fuck yes. It's so... you do have a penalty. You do have a penalty dice.
I have a penalty.
Sorry.
58 over...
Still a success.
Still a success, yeah.
It's a good...
I'm very good with guns.
Shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it look like? Yeah, you completely works.
Call this one a bullet for your Valentine. Essentially, I just want to make him walk.
Hell yeah. Oh. He gets a bit of the way. The shot takes out the back tire and probably a good chunk of the wheel too. It swings out from underneath him and he slams to the ground and like cringes. As the gunshot goes off, all around you there's a bunch of like oversized birds take off from the surrounding stalks and they all shake. And you also see like rats and things scurry away. He hits the ground and then looks up and begins to like grab up his bike, moves it a little bit, drops it, and just takes off running.
Yeah, if he as soon as the shot's done, Mickey just turns back into the car, not even looking at the guy, and starts like, making sure that all of his guns work, and then just like winds up the window. And then goes back to like leaning, picking his teeth.
Hopefully this will be a lesson that dissuades him from a life of crime with those guys and shows him he should be working with us. I don't like this field. This place is disgusting.
What exactly are they growing here?
Looks like corn, but it's like, I don't know. I want to get out
here. Used for whiskey? What if they're using this corn for the whiskey?
You would presume they are. This is the only fields that around you've seen.
Oh. Can I get another duck? And I know I'm not going to succeed here. I have 10 in natural world, but I think I kind of just in character like pick it up and have a look at it. I examine it, see if I can tell anything 100%. About it.
Yeah, go for it. Make a natural world roll.
I hope they're not. Failed to check, obviously, but I just kind of.
It does where it like you find one on the ground. It's like oversized. It's too bulbous and moist, but where it does like pop and like the kernel drains, it does smell very corny. It's just too much. It's like grown to bursting.
And there's rats in it. Can I try a tiny fingertip full?
Yeah. Yeah, it like you take one of the kernels and put it between where you squeeze it, fills your mouth with liquid, and it's almost sweet. It's good. It does taste like corn, but it's very liquidy, and it leaves like a film over your tongue that you have to like scrape off.
It's creamed corn on the cob.
Oh God.
Ready for consumption.
We're gonna be millionaires.
Right. Get this car back on the road, boy.
Okay. All right. Come on, Manny. Get in.
Given the quality of their crops, I'd be inclined to sample their product before we commit to taking possession of their operation. I don't think Mr. McBride would be interested in a business that creates subpar products.
I don't think the product's the problem.
All right. Well, let's just get this done. Come on, up to the farmhouse. And we know how many there are loosely, so let's park the car somewhere nearby, head in on foot, I guess.
Do you continue going through the field?
No, I don't think we do. I think we turn around and I'm just picturing now, like I mean, we were running over corn stalks. The tires have got to be like covered in goo. That's horrible.
Yeah. The undercarriage will have like knotted leaves and things, and as you reverse out and you have to go back through some other corn stalks to get around, you do eventually get back to the road, and after a short, maybe like you have to kind of go all the way up and around, so it'll take you, given you're not sprinting through it, 15-20 minutes, you begin to come into sight of the farmhouses. It is completely flanked by these massive cornfields, and you can see at a crossing there is a creek running through it, a man-made one, forgotten the word for it, basically for irrigation, and it is thick with water. It is thick with water that has like a strange, almost viscosity to it that runs all the way through the fields, and a short bridge goes over it and it runs throughout the whole thing. The water is ever so faintly like darker than usual, presumably Blackwater Creek, having been diverted up and through this. It's as if like charcoal or something runs through it. As you get towards the farm, and you can park earlier if you please, you can see that there's a couple of buildings around it. Looks like there's a major farmhouse. There's also a barn and a couple of like smaller ones towards the side, as well as a garage, and towards the back there is a stable and a small paddock with a couple of horses moving throughout it. There's also a large grain silo. There is an old truck parked out the front, and one of the doors open. You can see there's a garage, and inside there's another couple. There's feral cat. There's another couple of vehicles on the interior. You can park earlier. The one last thing I will say is, Stanley, as you're getting closer, you begin to feel a little strange. Can you just please make a Constitution roll?
I wonder why. What's causing this strange constitution?
What have I done recently?
Not
a fumble.
You feel strange, but it's not necessarily bad. You feel good. You feel like almost like just your neck, which is kind of stiff from the long drive, feels better. As you run your head through your hair, you're like, is it more lustrous than before? You feel good. You have a healthy coat.
My character, I don't know how much I got this across during the intro as a whole thing in their backstory of how they really don't like being called short. I imagine I even feel a bit taller.
You're reaching the accelerator, the pedals even easier. Yeah, you feel good. It is getting towards sunset at this point. What are the three of you want to do?
Let's park this thing, give it a few minutes until it's really getting dark enough for us to sneak in. Then, I mean, like gangsters, we do what we got to do. We get into the house real quiet, like make sure that there's no one gonna give us any trouble.
I'd like to offer them at first the funds that Mr. McBride made available to purchase the business and the property legitimately. And if they decline that generous offer, I leave it in your hands, the two of you.
Why don't we walk in now, three of us, up to the front door, knock, give them the offer, let them know that they, if they want to reconsider, we'll be back with a more appealing offer later.
I like it.
So,
all right. Okay.
Leave the rifle in the car.
I mean,
at this early stage, I might like to get a little more information based on the quality of the crops that we've seen.
How far? Where do we park? Like, are we parked pretty close to the entrance?
Up to you. You can park earlier, you can go in on foot, or you can drive right up.
And drive. I would lean towards driving right up because we're not exactly trying to make our presence not known, but I leave it to everyone else.
No, that makes sense. If we're doing the open route first, let's drive straight up. So we'll drive all the way up.
I will get out of the car and stand by the car with like an arm on the roof, just eyeballing the front door. I don't need to be involved in conversation. I am literally better at, standing by and, if necessary, pointing a rifle at someone and, intimidating them.
Okay. All right. The car rolls in. There's like a turning circle, enough space for cars and things, and it's all not paved, but like packed earth, easily driven on, amongst all the buildings. You see the main house, like farmhouse, which would be lived in, has a small porch that goes all the way around it, and there is a light on upstairs that, as you approach, remains on, but another one turns on downstairs. And there is also out by the horses, you hear a whinny, and then as the car comes in, a man comes around and begins to walk up towards you, or just into view, a tall guy with a wide straw hat. As he begins to walk around the corner, he's also got like a very thin, like wispy beard. As he comes around the corner, he hammers a couple times on the garage, and a short, very muscular man comes around. He's holding a pitchfork, who like opens up the door and looks out as well. And they just seem to be staying by the garage, watching as your car pulls up. Not too long after, the front door of the farmhouse will open, and a man looks like he's probably in his early 30s, looks fairly healthy, with like black slicked back hair, and dressed in farming clothes, like, a checkered work shirt or something over a white undershirt, but they all look quite like nice. Like they're probably bought in the city, and he's pulling on a pair of boots as he walks out onto the porch to see you. He's clearly the one in charge and the one that's approaching you to discuss.
I guess I'll get out of the car, have my hand on my weapon inside my pocket, and I'll let Manny do the talking.
Well, all right. I'll do the talking.
Okay.
What's how much money do you think we'd have to offer for this business? It'd be like somewhat insultingly low.
Yeah. This is taking it over. You're there to. Mr. McBride doesn't want to spend more money than he has to, definitely.
Yeah. So it's below market price, but we just want to give him the option to do it with no bloodshed.
Yeah.
What's that? A couple hundred?
Yeah, something
200
like that.
buckaroos?
That sounds good.
All right, great. Farmland prices rose 40% from 1913 to 1920. I can tell you that.
I think
I got a dollar value. Thanks for another Wikipedia.
Let's do a couple hundred, and we will work with that.
Fine. All right. Well, yeah, I will. We will start walking toward the gentleman and see who grabs us first.
Yeah, he stands. He comes like down out onto the porch, but stays at the top of the steps, looking down at you. The two men stay by the garage, watching keenly. Manny walks forward to meet with the gentleman, presumably one of the Carmodys. He'll be introduced shortly. It's Damien Carmody. Mickey and Stanley, what are the two of you doing? Where are you posting up? And are you holding any visible weapons? Is another key one.
I'm walking up with Manny. I will be next to Manny. I am not holding any visible weapons, but I've pretty clearly got my hand in my pocket. I think that there's an unspoken acknowledgement
that you're
there.
carrying. Yeah. Okay. Mickey, where are you going?
Unless there's a good reason not to, I am by the car, and I have both my 38 in my jacket and like within grabbing distance, because I'll be next to like the open door of the car.
Hell yeah.
The rifle is not in sight, but because it'll be like behind me, but it is on the back seat of the car, and I'm just like, it's just there. For me to reach in and grab it if I need to. But at the moment, I look like I am leaning against the car, again, taking my teeth with a toothpick and just kind of like eyeballing, the front door. And again, keeping an eye on like the surroundings. So I'm looking at these two, but also going, Is there anyone else, walking out from side alleys or places around the farm?
Wow. There's a farm cat. Awesome.
Extremely well fed on very fat rats farm cat. Who's just
awesome.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess you post up there.
What year is it?
You post up there and keep an eye out as Damien as Manny and Stanley walk up. Damien whistles through a gap in his teeth, and the two men nod. One of them goes back inside, and when he comes back out, he's got a shotgun held completely visibly, and he passes one to the other guy. They see you, and you see them. All right, sorry, Jackson, did you say something?
One last question. Just what year is it?
What year is it? This is for your freaking
for my very important counting.
Let's say 1924. I think is right.
1924. Ooh, 1920 was the pre-World War II.
Sorry,
peak.
I stand corrected. It's 1926.
1926. All right. Well, the peak price was for farmland was $69 per acre in 1920, pre-World War II, and then it fell to a low of $31 in 1934. Because the Great Depression. So let's say we'll call it like $40 per acre. Average farm size in 1920 was 118 acres thereabouts. So if we say it was, the farm's actually worth $4,000.
Keep in mind that they would have bought it 5 years ago, so they actually would have bought it close to peak. So it would have been close to peak. So that's how much they would have bought it. And yes, it probably would be worth less. But I feel like McBride would be like, get us the fucking farm,
Welcome to Call of Cthulhu.
All right. If we can say that McBride has offered us $2,000 to get it blood free, then that's what we'll have.
Okay, perfect. I love it. All right.
And that's an insultingly low offer. I'm satisfied now.
Champion.
I'm done slowing down the game. Thank you.
That was completely worth it. All right. There's a whistle. The two men come back out with shotguns. Mickey keeps a keen eye on them and the surrounds. I'll let you know if anything comes closer as Manny and Stanley walk up. Stanley clearly has a pistol, though it's still holstered. He's reaching under his shirt to hold at it. And the man, Damien Carmody, standing in the doorway, has a gun within sight as well. There's a rifle leaning up against one of the banisters. He lets out that whistle, and then as you're closer, he holds up a hand and goes, no closer. All right.
This is the property of the Carmody brothers.
That's correct. You're speaking with Damien.
Damien, Mr. Carmody, you are engaged with the production and growing of corn.
That's right.
You are then involved in the production of whiskey from said corn.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's fine. I don't need you to know. I represent a businessman from another part of the world who is interested in buying your business and property, and I would like some more information. To where do you sell your products once it is completed?
No. Listen, I'm not dealing with you or whoever you work for, all right? I've got an ongoing deal, and it works well for me. You turn around, you leave now.
With whom do you have this deal?
Mr. Whalen.
And Mr. Whalen is...
Look, I know who you are. You know who I am. Let's not pretend any further, all right? Mr. Whalen.
Do I know who Mr. Whalen
yeah,
is?
He's the rival gang boss for Boss.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And he's the one that he rivals your boss. And he's the one that's getting all this new flash hot whiskey coming in.
All right. That's fine. It is decided that Mr. Whalen is no longer capable of running this business as it is, and therefore the ownership should be transferred to Mr. McBride. We are here to offer you the grand total of 2,000 United States dollars to make sure this happens smoothly. There will be no further offers and negotiations.
That's insulting. Do you know how much dollar per acreage is around here? That's nowhere close. Roughly half. Even less. He goes, no, I absolutely not. Listen, go back, leave, tell your boss. We see you again, we're going to shoot you. All right? And you're lucky my brother wasn't here. He would have dealt with this even more harshly. So go on and leave. Manny, do you want to make a I'm not...
A psychology roll.
Yeah, sure. You just get a read?
Something's wrong with this farm.
Oh, it's
based on the crops. So I wasn't expecting, happy, sign a contract, let's do it. I just want to get a feel on what they're up against here. Have they gotten themselves mixed up in something they shouldn't have?
Sure. Do you make a psychology
Out of interest, are we the Irish or the Italian this time?
McBride would be Irish.
Technically,
right.
these are not the same gangsters as in Arkham, as you guys are from Boston.
Although, isn't it all like filtered
Pretty
through?
close. It's family stuff, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which to answer Chat's question, the hammer's on our side.
Hammer would be on your side, yeah. Or working
Not directly, but yeah.
Related.
Yeah.
That's a success. Okay. He is keeping an air of control, but he is very aware that basically 3 wolves have just strolled into his farm, and he wants to diffuse. Actually, he does not seem to be trying to he's not trying to over aggravate. That said, he's giving you a very firm no. You do see him occasionally, like his eyes flicking around, and he is looking for something or someone out across the crops, possibly the brother who hasn't yet returned. He's looking around nervously. You also see he's keeping one hand quite close to the gun. You are, within. This is this is close to turning into a gunfight.
Keeping an air of control. He's nervous.
Yes, he's nervous. He's definitely nervous. Yes.
That's all right then. I'm going to got him on the back foot.
Art.
I did mention that I wanted to be keeping an eye on things. May I make some kind of roll, or is that just like a passive thing I'm doing?
I'm noticing. I'll let you know if something comes up. You're watching the 2 men who are nearby. They are holding guns clearly.
I've clocked them, but I'm also like aware that in any situation there are the people they show you, and then there are the people they don't. And so I'm like, I know where you 2 are. If you leave, I will then be concerned about you. But while I can see you, you're not actually a threat. It's the possibility of other people that I care
100%.
about.
You are currently still under the impression that there are only these 3 people. And you are looking for others. I'll let you know.
Because we got told there was 5, so.
It's true.
Well, an old sick dad, so 4, unless.
2 brothers and 3 thugs, right?
2 brothers, 2 thugs, and a dad.
And the father. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Although technically 2 brothers, 2 gangsters, which the guy then said, oh yeah, they're gangsters, so they must be thugs. And if I was a more hot-headed character, I would have shot him on the spot. Mainly to make a point.
So he very clearly says no and leave. And if you return, there could be gunfight. So what's your response?
That's very regrettable. We'll continue the negotiations another time.
There's going to be no more negotiations. Go on and leave. And be grateful you met with me, not my brother or my father.
We'll turn back to the car and regroup. So I've got some ideas.
The 3 of you walk back. The 2 of you walk back and meet Mickey standing by the car. You're outside of earshot, but within clear sight of everyone. No one else leaves. They're all staying where they are.
As we get in, say if one.
Are you getting in, or are you meeting, or are you talking at the front, like by the?
I mean, I open my door, and I'll say, we could get in, and then we could drive the car straight at that garage, top speed. Ram the 2 of them, make it real clear. Sounds like one of them's away. This might be our best shot.
Could be. Mr. McBride was keen to avoid bloodshed and take the operation entirely, as long as it stays in one piece. Alternatively, apparently one of the brothers is out in the field somewhere. He was looking across the field, waiting for him to come back. We could grab him while he's on his own.
I knew it.
I mean, if we're grabbing people left, right, and center, I think it's better we grab the 2 quote unquote thugs than brothers. You kill someone's brother, it's a problem. If those 2 are, I hate to say it because we're in the same boat, we're also gangsters, but those 2 are expendable, then let's expend them, make them clear that's our opening bid in negotiations.
At this point, lingering any further would be pointed. Do you get into the car at least to feign leaving, or?
Like the boats as I turn on the engine. Yay or nay?
I mean, there's one other option. silos can be rebuilt. And anything filled with any kind of dried out substance goes up quite nicely.
That is the product that Mr. McBride would like to sell. Mr. Corrigan,
there are fields. We're not going to set fire to the fields. I'm suggesting we set fire to the silo.
The silo, which is full of product that Mr. McBride would eventually like to produce and sell. Mr. Corrigan, if you trust your drive auto skill, as it were, then by all means, make them an offer.
Fuck yeah.
Mickey? It's your wheelhouse.
You can all make him an offer, but make sure, I can get out the car at the other side of this.
Okay, and I'll slam the accelerator.
Nice.
All right. As soon as you rev the accelerator and begin to swing around, it's clear enough where things are going. We'll resolve the following in dexterity order.
It's clear enough we don't know what we're doing.
Who does? What is everyone's dex?
70.
70. Hot dog.
45.
Hey, Maddie Ziegler, everybody. All right. So 70 for Mickey. Was it 70 for Stanley as well? Okay.
I'll defer to Stanley going first, because if he rams something, I want to be able to do something stupid.
I'm just gonna check my boys. Ooh, hey, it's close. Make a dexterity roll for me, please, because Mr. Carmody is also 70.
All right, dexterity roll coming up.
For me as well.
I'm just gonna. I'll let you both go if one wins. All right, Stanley, you are first. What do you do?
I would like to use my car to ram into those two people with shotguns.
Okay, awesome. Make a drive auto check, please.
It's so rare because we play so many long, campaigns in Call of Cthulhu. It's so rare that you do things this kind of bold. One shots, hell yeah. I think this might be one of the roles I am most excited for.
Literally drive it like you stole it.
Here we go. Extreme.
Oh,
yes.
Hell yeah.
The build of a car, the damage bonus, gotta be a couple of D6.
Well, no, you roll the build in D10s.
Yes.
If I remember correctly. And this is we'll say it's a comedy, so it's gonna be 4D10. Now first I'm gonna roll dodge for them as you come swing around and suddenly accelerate towards them. You do like a circle around and then begin to hammer towards them as you look at each other and throw to either side. Let me roll dexterity.
Do they need an extreme to dodge that?
Yeah.
Oh no! They need an extreme dodge. They need to meet it.
I will say, it's because there's both of them. They are close though. It's going to be against one of them, unless you want to try and hit both.
You know what, David? I am so obsessed with this roll. I will burn myself down to a crit for this. Like, I want this to succeed. It's one of the coolest moments I've ever seen.
I think you're getting both of them. They were staying next together. It was pretty clear. All right, I'm rolling.
Give him a bonus die for dodging. Sure.
That's
if there's two of them.
That's a good idea.
Do that, because then
it still won't do shit. All right. For the first one. That's a hard, and take your bonus, sir. Nope, that won't do it. For our second man.
Archie. They've got names. Archie Cotton.
They've
got names.
No, don't name them.
No, absolutely name
Dave.
them. No, name them. It's funny to know who you are
second
murdering.
One.
Ralph Hannon also gets a hard success.
They did so well. They tried their best. Okay. Jamie, please. So, as you begin to swing around and it almost looks like you're leaving, suddenly you hammer the accelerator, the back tires swing around the side. There's a glint of the dying sunlight on the scratched scroll of like the creek going down the tires as it kicks up dust, and you charge towards the garage. For a moment, they look up and then one of them like shoulders the shotgun and levels it towards you. Then they realize, oh my God, he's not blinking. They try and dive out towards the side, but both are too slow and the tires bump as they go over the two gangsters. Roll 4d10 damage.
Oh.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna assume this is the car.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. All right.
Is that if you wanted to be like, maybe they live, you could split it between the two of them.
But they got hit by a car at speed. One of them gets bumped under the tires, and the second one gets slammed by the car into the wall, which they're squeezed up against, and you hear something break. Immediately they die. The shotgun does fire before they fall over, but he peels. He leans across the bonnet, killed immediately. Stanley, Mickey, what do you do?
I would like to, given that this was a very good drive auto roll, I'm assuming that we are not damaged in any way.
No, you're all good.
Lovely. I would like to kick open the back door, stand out, swing the rifle around towards, is it Damien?
Damien Carmody.
And just go, second offer, and just aim.
Fuck yeah. On his turn,
actually, let me take the back. Final offer.
Oh, fuck
and then
yeah.
I'll aim.
Can you give me an intimidation roll? Actually, I'm gonna say you're aiming for him. Actually, no. Do give me an intimidation roll, please.
Okay. Do I have?
Oh, 1 point.
Do we get any bonuses for the fact we just killed some men?
No, because it's in combat. This is just heat of the moment stuff.
I will give you. Is it 2 points
It's 2
of luck
points.
I must spend? Oh my. All right, very good. 2 points of luck.
Okay, awesome.
For a success on that one, sure.
All right. He as you level the gun across him, he's going for his rifle. Is it just is it just the words, or do you shoot at the rifle where he was going for it, or?
I like to think that given that this is an intimidation roll, I have I'm aiming it, but for narrative purposes, I would like to not have lifted it, but just hold it, and he can look he's looking directly at me, and he's heard of me.
Oh yeah.
I think he's heard of. I think he's heard
yeah.
of Mickey Valentine, and Mickey's just final offer, and that's all he says, and he's just got a rifle pointed, but he's not he hasn't lifted it to be I'm gonna kill you, because he doesn't fucking need to.
Because he's heard about your final offers.
Oh hell yeah. He his instinct was to go straight for the rifle, which he's got leaned. But he pauses for a moment, and then he gets fuck, and he kicks it. He kicks the rifle, so it falls away and lands on the ground. So it's clear that it's a surrender. He walks towards the stairs. He goes, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, all right. You don't have to. Fuck, you have to kill me.
Get him to sign the papers, Manny, and they're gonna have to restuff now, so the value is gonna have dropped considerably.
It's true.
Manny, do you just what is how is Manny behaving?
He just bustles out of the car with a briefcase.
Out of a car, briefcase, getting the papers out, and sure enough, with the loss of half of your workforce, I'm afraid our second offer is a little lower. I believe the grand total of $1 United States dollar will do fine. Sign here, here, and here.
Fucking hell. Where are you signing the papers? Do you go into the house? Do you do it on the porch? Do you do it on the bonnet of the bloodstained car?
Yeah, I can do it on the bonnets.
Fucking hell. He walks over and there's the slumped up body of one of his workers and blood sprayed across the hood. Underneath there's the chewed up corn from where you drove through it. He is still looking nervous, shaken, and his hands trembling. Mickey, you were keeping an eye out on the peripheral the whole time, and you can see he's still continuing to swing around, looking at the fields and things. As he approaches, he gets the pen, and he goes, fucking, this is bullshit. You can't just take this from us and expect us to work from you. Listen, I'll sign, but my brother's not going to take this well. And when Pop hears about this...
He arrives.
Yeah.
We'll deal with that in our own time. It's now our own problem. We'd like to have a better idea about the liabilities, the property, and the business, starting with the exact nature of this crop you are growing. It is not corn. What is it?
It's corn. It's corn. Brendan found the creek. We diverted the water through. He went and hiked up to the source, and ever since it's run through, the crop's grown like fucking lightning, and the whiskey it makes, the hooch, fuck, it's good. It's real good, but I don't know, man. This shit's still weird. At this point, he signs, his name, and just as he's getting to the third and final one, which will hand this over to you, his pen lingers on top of it. A drop of ink splashes on the page, and out in the corner you see Mickey. You spot something rustle, and a bird takes off, but then they part a little bit further, and there's something moving towards the house. He looks up and he goes, fuck. He does sign it, and then he drops the pen down, and he goes, Brendan, you don't have to do anything. This can be handled. This can all be handled. There's no response, and then he yells, Pop, come out and say something. What are the three of you doing as sun has set and the moon has risen across the glistening cornfields?
I pull out my gun. I get low, sort of peeking around, sort of near the car, taking some cover, and I think my eyes dart to the scratched map on the side of the car, and I see that circled area high up and a line going through, and I'll go, hey, and I'll jab him. I'll say, source, it's that, right? Source, and I'll point to the map.
He's continuing, Pop, come out, tell Brendan not to do anything. Brendan, just stop. He's not really paying much attention to you. That's but fine. You can like grab me, like, hey, fucking listen to me if you want.
No, I think we've got bigger fish to fry at the minute.
Okay, all right.
I functionally, I have my weapon readied and I'm gazing around.
From the thing continues to depart, and then Mickey, you spot flooding out from underneath the cornrows are like a fucking wave of rats, snakes, small stunted birds that are like moving along in the undergrowth, and a wave of flies that buzz up as well, and come across the ground towards you. What does everyone do?
Do we need a sanity check?
Oh, yeah, make a sanity check. Good call. Technically, it's all still rats and things at this point. Also, the killing. You're gangsters. That's fine. That's gangster shit.
We heal sanity when we.
You feel better. Nice.
Oi.
Nice.
Oi.
So all good.
Take a point only. Whoever failed. And it's all fine. It's just it's a lot of rats and things so far. It's fucked, but you know.
Well, I guess I'd like to get up in Damien's face and go, what exactly is Brendan going to do?
He's gonna bring that. Get in the car. Dive into the car and slam it before we get overwhelmed by a horde of vermin.
Stanley, you like dive in and say, Brendan's continuing to yell, and you get it right over and goes, no, listen. When he found the source, he drank the water, he began to change. Everyone around here does. This place it's amazing, but it's strange and it's wrong, and Brendan's never been the same. He doesn't talk, he just wanders out in the fields and communes with whatever he thinks he found. Everything still works, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
You get in the car with us.
No, I have to get my father. He's the only one. He's the only one that Brendan will ever listen to. I have to get my father. You can try and make a persuasion roll to get him into the car. Otherwise, he's going to sprint towards the house.
Quick psychology, see if he's lying.
Yeah, make a psychology roll.
Nope. I'm inclined to believe him, honestly.
He's clearly shaken and honestly, this whole thing's getting a little weird.
It's getting a little weird.
You'll have to admit. So Manny, you're like yelling at Stanley. You get into the car and begin to you did drive it into a thing. It's in fine condition, but it's taking a bit of you have to get the wheels around and things. You're beginning to get everything ready. Mickey, what are you doing? Sorry, that's Stanley. Mickey, what are you doing?
Getting in the car.
Okay, you go ahead in.
We got what we came for, so I'm assuming we are leaving now.
I mean, you've got the signed papers. If people turn up tomorrow and want to run a distillery,
yeah.
We were told to get the property, to take the property. We have signed papers that say it now belongs to us. Unless the lawyer says something different, I assume we have done what we needed to do.
Well, yeah, is that enough? Do I need to make a law roll?
I reckon there's going to be... For now, let's escape the disaster. We can talk about that once we're not going to get eaten.
Okay, so...
I don't know. Is there a chance that we need to get at least 1 or 2 more signatures?
Legally, you're good. The property's
Alright.
been sold for the value of $1. But
Fantastic.
I mean, legitimately, it's also technically you've just bought the land. Like the operation is what the Carmody brothers do. And the idea was you go in and get them to work for you now. At the moment, it looks as though there is a dissent in the ranks.
Right, gotcha. We need the family. We need the family. We need all of them. We can't abandon them now.
Damien takes off across the road and he's screaming, "Pop! Pop!" And he gets to like the stairs, stumbles a little bit, and then charges inside. Outside,
geez, we can't let
the
him get
rats and
killed.
things move past. There's the horses, which like whinny and buck and begin to like try and circle in their paddock as the wave of vermin comes through them and begins to get towards.
No, you're right. Let's
buildings.
Let's get in the car. Let's start moving, but let's not flee. Let's get a good look at what exactly this Carmody has become.
I think I will back the car out over the wave of vermin in like the most horrific like U-turn, and I'll drive slowly into the middle of the like farm near the truck where we were, and I'm sort of gazing around looking for the
headlights to the gap in the crops. Like, we need light. You have headlights.
Got it.
Can you give me a drive auto roll, please, Stanley?
Can I? Of course I can.
Watch him fail. Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, you begin to back it out, and you're pointing the lights towards where you think Brendan's coming from. Is that right? Yeah.
Well, you said there was a gap in the.
There's you could see like
cornfields.
waves where it was where something was moving through it towards you, but it has not broken through the rows. He's not stepped out.
Well, we thought we saw movement though. I think I'll start it there for a second, but if I don't see anything, I'm gonna keep the wheel turning, and I start doing like a slow reversed circle, just so the light is shining around us in a general kind of like scanning the area.
Awesome. I mean, you also like just keep moving the whole time, because as you go, just as you're beginning to move out, rats are beginning to like swarm up the side of it, and you go.
Yep.
There's a couple like on the top moving around, and as you move, they keep on trying to get up, but with the car in constant motion, they can't find purchase. There's a couple of like where you drove through the cornfields. There's some stalks caught underneath the motor that are like dangling behind you, and they begin to get up on that and be followed around behind you, and then from there they're moving up towards like the exhaust and things. Like these things are just everywhere. As you scan the outside, you can see more of these vermin moving from the stalks and beginning to head in, but there isn't a silhouette of a person. No one's broken through, but you think you can spot where they seem to be coming from, or the general direction of it. From upstairs, the light where Damien went running to turns off, and there's motion from inside the house. What are the three of you want to do?
Okay. Well, are the rats going into the house?
No, they seem to be sort of flooding the area. Actually, that's not true. They've like flooded the area, and a couple are now beginning to like clamber up the stairs and move in.
All right, those two are going to get eaten if they're let near there. We need to get them out. So okay.
Get us near the front door, boy.
All right, near the front door. Got it. And I'll start going towards the front door. But as we do, we pass by that truck, I presume. I'll say, Manny, if you wanna drive, I can try and jump across the truck and get that started too.
Yep.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, and we like kick around.
Hell yeah, you like move up along the side of the truck, and as you you wind down the window and you begin to get up and make the jump, immediately things are beginning to move up and onto the hood. Can you give me a jump roll?
Yeah, I probably should have thought about this before I tried it. Can I try and say a drive auto to give me a bonus die on the jump because I got us real close? No, okay.
It's not. No, I don't think so. I think just go for
All right, here we go. Oh my
well
God,
done.
that is
Yeah.
lucky.
You get to the side, and you're able to like wind down the window and leap across and into the truck. You jam onto the side and begin to move in. As you get into the front seat, you find the keys just nearby, and you begin to start the engine. Manny from the car, you immediately jam it down so it keeps moving. And Stanley, as the engine begins to turn over, the front door opens and a figure begins to come out onto the porch. But first of all, you realize that underneath your foot, as you jam down, something moves up against it, and looking down, there is a snake nestled just underneath the seat, which immediately rears up and begins to hiss at you aggressively. What's your response?
Stab it with my pocket knife.
Sorry. This is Stanley. That's sorry. My
I thought you said
clarification.
me.
Sorry, no,
I
I think I might have. That's my bad.
thought it
Stanley,
was
as you get into the second one, there's a snake underneath the seat.
Gross. I think narratively, I like jam the brake down to like slam it onto the thing's body, and I will start going. Mechanically, I attack it. I have a straight razor, and I'm pretty good at ball.
Fuck yeah. Go for it. It will contest you with its own.
Okay. Just try me.
Okay, not a fumble, and it fails as well. So you jam down with the razor, and it tries to lash at you, but it's still like looped around it, and it takes a moment to find purchase and fails. That will continue. Manny, you get the car moving, and Mickey, you look out as the door opens, and Damien has re-emerged, and he's got held in his hand his father, a very old-looking man, graying hair and very gaunt and bundled in a sheet, and the father isn't moving at all, and he gets to the stairs, and he looks out, and there's rats and things everywhere. He calls out to his brother again, but there's no response from the cornrows. What's everyone doing? Stanley, you're dealing with the snake for the moment at least. What's her? Mickey and Manny.
How far away are we from the front door?
You
from
can be at it. You can head right up to it.
Great. I want to do that and then yell out to them and be like, "Get in the car."
Okay. So he begins to hurry down towards you, and you're going to coordinate.
I'm gonna I will essentially get the both of them in our car because there is space enough for all of us. Although why Stanley has left, I do not know. I also don't care. He will either come back or Manny, we will leave without him.
Okay.
The boss.
I'm driving at this point.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So
Stanley's dropped out.
Manny gets the car up just alongside, and you stop for a moment to open the door. Rats immediately begin to like climb
I
up.
don't open the door until they actually get close to us.
Gotcha. He gets towards the front step, and he comes down it. As he gets right up next to you, you do open the door, and he leans over and he passes his dad into the back seat, and you help him in, and then he moves to get into the front. Immediately, rats begin to move inside, and Mickey, as the father has passed across to you and you help him in, you realize that this man is dead, and unmoving. Can you please make a sanity roll?
Okay. I'm not particularly concerned about this, but
it's because they were referring to like, Dad, you need to talk to him, and Dad, you need to do things, and they're clearly talking about a corpse.
Oh, as in like this is someone who has been dead for a while, not like he could have he would have been like Dad and then realized he was dead. Okay.
No, this is a corpse that they are lugging around and talking to.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, not great.
Go ahead and take a D4, please.
Very good.
And as he passes across you, Damien goes like, "Okay, Pop, just stay there," and he gets into the front seat alongside with you, Manny. Stanley, can you please? Do you want to try and stab it once more?
Yep. Kill that freaking snake.
Stab check. At this point, anything goes in circles. If you're enough to, you can get the car moving at least, and it's just trying to sort of like move around. Where are you trying to head with the car, as well?
I am moving it about, and what I'm intending to do is follow these two where they go. I'll flick on the headlights as well, but if I spot either where I think the source of all this is coming from, or a strange, monstrous brother, I intend to ram it. I've just upgraded. I'm in a truck now.
Okay, all right. So you try and get the car moving. All right, Manny. The brother, Damien, gets into the seat, and the father is put in the back. Mickey has just... So you took 3. What is your response? What is the reaction when you see this?
Me?
From both of you. Yeah, Mickey, yeah, what do you say anything?
I think he just turns off. Mm-hmm. Like, as in... Mickey doesn't have a lot of empathy for his fellow man, if any. And maybe there was like a tiny spark of warmth still there that might have been kindled by something or someone who isn't in this scenario. But nope, that's gone. Okay. That's just, in order to get through this, it's just all humanity off.
Okay.
So I really, really hope that if I do, in fact, lose 2 more sanity and go indefinitely insane, I get red mist, because that will be fun.
Oh,
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. Manny and Stanley,
Well-
you both in control of the cars. What do you do?
If Manny hasn't seen the fact that Pops is a
nothing
corpse
said.
yet,
Yeah.
he'll probably just call out to the back seat. Mr. Valentine, if you could get Mr. Carmody Sr. to sign the papers as well, just in case he doesn't make it out of here, that will help us in the long run.
Right. Yar. Ziegler.
Okay. Where are you heading?
And then peeling off, I guess, gonna keep the car moving while searching for obvious threats and also keeping an eye on where Stanley's gotten himself into.
Okay. Stanley, where are you at? Are the two of you, are you driving out towards the corners where you think the source of this is, or are you heading somewhere else, basically?
and we got to get rid of this thing, right? Otherwise, the place is useless. So I guess we're heading out
That's
to
right.
the source.
Yeah, I'll follow Stanley, because Stanley's the good driver.
All right.
In that case, can you both please make drive auto tests, and Stanley will do one more with this useless
Sure.
snake.
Just quickly, I am in a truck. Can I argue that I am knocking like a path for for the other card following?
I like that, and then Manny, you can roll with the bonus dice. So I guess Jim, you roll
Mickey, I can
first.
see your pain at us heading towards danger.
It's just that thing where Mickey's just like, we have the signature, we've got the one who's still alive, the one who is the head of the family, and I said was, and the other one is obviously like unhinged, but we can come back and deal with that person with, more firepower.
Not a bad.
So like we've technically got what we needed, and
That's why
McBride's just going to be angry at us if we manage to get ourselves killed, because then he doesn't get his property.
Yeah, well, but if you go back and say we need more firepower to deal with one unhinged person, also why didn't you deal with it? You are the firepower.
Right.
That's what you were sent
This guy
for.
right here.
Yeah,
is
100%. You would be who we would send to deal with it.
Okay, in that if that is something I know, then in that case, I don't have any issues. I just go drive, and I will pull the rifle out.
Rock and roll. All right. Stanley, go ahead and make a drive roll.
Okay, drive auto check. That's a success. I'm forging a path. Meanwhile, there is a snake, which I'm presuming is going to be real poisonous and is trying to bite me. And I'm still fighting.
Yes.
I feel like it's going to succeed before you do. Yes, I am trying to curse this game.
Rock and roll.
So my drive auto with bonus?
Yes. Yes.
I really picture it's that thing where I'm kind of like I'm driving with like both legs up like this, kind of like one occasionally pushing down with like a stick to get the accelerator.
Sorry. So let's resolve these. So success on the drive auto. So Stanley, you're beginning to move through the corners and break down a path. Manny, as you get around, it's tough going, and you stop at one point, and you can see rats have begun to move over, and they start flooding in through one of the windows on the sides. Do you want to push this or luck it? Otherwise, you're going to have some rats to deal with.
I got enough luck to spend. I don't want to see what happens if we have to deal with the rats as well.
Okay. So are you spending luck or?
No, let's get some rats in here.
Okay, let's try a couple rats. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so the snake succeeded finally. So Stanley, as you ford a path, you begin to break through the cornrows and crunching over. You're clearly gaining on whatever this thing is, because there's actually fewer vermin here. They seem to have all flooded out and into the house. You kind of outpace them as suddenly your head beams pick up a figure standing amongst the corn. It is a human, silhouetted with a sort of like a bed sheet or something wrapped around it. One of its arms is much longer than the other and drapes all the way down towards the ground. You can see muscles bulge up around it where they contort even underneath the sheet, giving it a very strange silhouette. At its very longest point, you can see it moves to like almost talons that are pushed into the ground. The head is twisted over, and there's a large tumor growing out from the side that glistens yellow like that same sweet corn, almost primed to burst. The other arm is crunched up along it. There is slick black hair, which is incredibly long and also seems to grow from more points than traditional. Like it grows all the way down the back, like kind of emerging from the spine, almost like a strange ponytail or something. That very shiny look to it as well, as it's been recently gelled. The eyes are green, and you can see a familial resemblance, although very much contorted and generally fucked. Can you give me a sanity roll and also a constitution roll from the venomous snake?
Here comes a sanity, that's a crit. Here comes a constitution, that's a success. I can't be stopped.
Oh my god, okay. Unfortunately, the constitution roll is not quite enough.
I know how poison rules work just based on the book. If this is something that I want to burn all my luck for to try and get an extreme, I'm very happy to do so. I know how deadly poison is.
You may want to consider doing that, yes.
Okay, so I have...
Extreme or hard?
I did not roll my luck.
It is extreme. You take no damage.
That's 12 luck, which is 60. So if it's a cost for 2, I can burn that down to an 18, which is only going to get me to a hard success.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm just short of extreme. Rip.
All right. Okay. As the thing bites, immediately you can still act for the time being, but you can begin to feel it seizing up. You have tremendous pain shooting up your leg, and the snake is continuing to bite down and hold onto it. The car picks up this figure though, and you begin to move towards, you continue moving towards it. As Manny in the back, you're following. You keep pace, but vermin's beginning to flood over through the windows and surround the inside. Damien is screaming out again and again for his brother. And in the backseat, Mickey, you're preparing the rifle or getting the signature from the dead man?
Nope. I get the rifle, and I would like to... How fast are we going?
Not particularly. Breaking through the... Yeah, not very fast, I would say. Stanley was ice breaking.
Can I see this misshapen thing from where I am?
Not just yet. Stanley's vehicle is taking up the space.
One more question. How far away from Stanley's vehicle are we?
Fairly close. You're just behind.
Cool.
And it is just slowed to a stop.
Oh, it's just stopped? Amazing. Well, then I'm assuming we're stopping as well. I'd like to climb out the window onto the roof of the car and leap onto the truck.
Fuck yeah. All right. So you begin to head up onto the roof and then make the jump
with the
across.
rifle, and then I want to jump onto the back of the truck and climb up onto the back of it, because my climb is 60 and my jump is 50, and I feel like this is what I'm designed to do.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Can you give me a jump roll?
Yes.
As you make the leap.
Can I? No,
Oh.
I cannot.
Okay.
Is failing just I go, oh, I can't make it.
I don't know, failing is you're going to fall. You'll take a bit of damage.
Okay. What is pushing it then? A lot of damage?
Yeah. I guess, first one, you're making the jump. You attempt to it and you'll slip. I guess pushing it would be, risking getting in between the car and taking some real damage. It's not too bad. You're just gonna be actually, failing is you're on the ground outside of the cars. Pushing it will be damage and that.
Okay. I am happy to have fallen, and then I will just try and climb up the back of the vehicle, onto so I won't have made the jump, but I will attempt to climb up.
Okay, that's fine. So you leap across, but it's a little bit too far, and as you hit the other side, you land on the back, grabbing the bed of the tray, your feet dangling on the ground a little bit. You begin to pull your way up, but at this point, we're going to start resolving things in dexterity order. So you get to set the scene. So Stanley, you are in the car. The snake has just bitten you and you feel poison pumping through you. Your headlights have picked up the silhouette just between a few more cornrows, and it begins to lurch up and look towards you. Mickey tries to leap from one car to the other, and is now dangling in between the two unmoving vehicles. As Manny, you look over with Damien seated just next to you, and rats have begun to swarm in. They're going straight over him, but they're beginning to get onto you, and suddenly you feel one bites you, and fuck, as more begin to burrow through the clothes and begin to latch onto you, sinking their sharp little teeth into your sides. Dexterity order first is Mickey and Stanley. Who wants to act?
Why don't you go first?
All right, I'm gonna climb up the back of this this vehicle and get onto the roof so that I am further away from the rats and also with a clear line for whatever stopped this vehicle, because I assume if Stanley has stopped, there's something in front of us, and therefore I should probably find out what it is so I can shoot it. You know, definitely not a problem at all.
All makes sense. All right, do you want to give me a climb roll, please?
I will indeed.
Hell yeah.
Hard success.
With the rifle like slung across your back, you get over it into the bed and then take a couple like steps over the spare tire and onto the roof where you can unsling it and look down. The beams catch the corners and throw them into strange shadows.
Because you said it's a bed, yeah? It's a bed of a truck and then like the chassis of it.
Yeah.
Am I tall enough that I could like lean on the chassis to like, so rather than getting up on that roof, just like lean and look and have an aim from there, and also a bit of cover, as it were, from, you know, projectiles from the front. Which is definitely a thing I need to worry about.
Okay, hell yeah, yeah. In that case, you just get into the bed and then unsling the rifle and look across the shadows, pick up the silhouette of hunched over and overlong arm Brendan, which looks up towards you and begins to veer over towards one side, and you see from underneath the sheets a snake drops down onto the ground and begins to work its way towards you. Can you please make a sanity roll?
I can. Can I shoot him? Like, do I have enough of an action to do that, or was my action?
Yeah,
like,
I think you succeeded. I think you can take a shot. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, first and foremost, let's find out. I do in fact maintain my sanity at this point.
All right. Not too bad.
Do I take anything for that? Or
I think you're all right. It's a strange human thing, but
great. I would like to shoot the strange human thing in the glowy bit.
Okay. As underneath you hear a yell of pain from Stanley, you level the sights at the creature and take a shot. You will have a penalty dice, just given shadows and bullshittery at play, but go for it.
Would I have, like, is this counted as point blank for a rifle?
Oh, yeah, good call. Well, it's your dexterity, so it is absolutely within point blank range. So yeah, go ahead and make a straight roll. Good catch.
Amazing. All right, let's use the weapon thingy-mabob.
Apply gun.
Oh, nice.
9 damage.
80. Yeah, range 110 yards. I think so.
Awesome. Okay.
Do I want to? I can't get that down to an extreme or anything, so we'll leave that as being a good shot. Just pew.
Okay. You see it, you track it across, and you fire. It's going from center of mass. There is you definitely hit him. It goes straight through the sheet. It stumbles forward and collapses to the ground for a moment, and then you see like a shuddering motion, and then suddenly a number of rats squirm forth. I'm going to make a roll on my side.
Ooh.
Okay. As it hits the ground, a couple of rats squirm forth, and then it slumps over. It's not moving on the ground at the moment. But you can still, it is not moving, but you can still see like squirming things underneath it. But the arm is still, and the head lies pushed in the mud. That is Mickey's turn. Stanley, you are up.
Okay, I try and take out this snake because otherwise it's gonna kill me. Here we go.
Unfortunately, it may have already succeeded.
Yep, I'm very aware it may have. Very aware. So, oh my god, no luck today. I'm fail.
So you're just trying to like stab down at it with the knife,
trying to get rid of it. Unless since it's holding me, I get a bonus die on something.
Yeah, take a bonus dice. At this point, I think it's you kind of just
like
reach down
point
and
blank
stab
it's on your leg.
No, fate has determined, and I think this is. I'm probably weakening from the poison. Do I take any damage or something like that?
Yeah, let's do, rather than doing it in one large hit, let's do it round by round. Take a D6 and we'll escalate it.
Okay, sounds great.
D6.
What?
Bye.
That is 5.
Is that
major
enough
wound?
for a constitution?
Not a major wound.
Okay. All right, so that's Stanley's turn. Manny, what is your initiative? The rat is going to be first. Please
My
either... rat pack.
Rat pack.
Actually, they begin to swarm over and begin to surround you on the ground as one like bites into your side and suddenly let a little scream. Do you want to dodge or try and fight back against them?
Let me just check my skills here.
They're using a maneuver.
Ooh, I think I better dodge.
What is your build, by the by?
My build is 0.
Okay, all right, it's gonna be a straight roll between the two of you then.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh!
Oh, and that did
See,
12.
overwhelm maneuver.
Oh,
what?
Which is what
I know what this does.
and they just did 12 damage. What is your health?
Oh no!
Excuse me?
Bye.
Say that again?
I did 12 damage. What is your health?
Some rats did 12 damage?
Of them. They have swarmed in the car, and suddenly, because I think that's exactly how it. What is your health? And then I'll leave it to you to describe how it resolves.
12?
Is that instant death?
Right?
Right?
It is. So what? At first, here's the thing. So there's a ton of them, and what they're going to do is swarm, bite through. At first, it's just you're driving, and a couple of rats get through, and you go, that's bad. One bites you, another one, and then suddenly you realize they've chewed through the shirt. There's blood pooling down. You look down, and one's trying to burrow into your stomach. How does it?
Not good. I'll probably crash the car at this point.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm about to fall unconscious, the car's going to go careering into a ditch. Surely.
We got so lucky with a couple of one-shots, Cthulhu one-shots, where we were like, we
It
came
had to
in
go
and we're
wrong.
like, yeah, we'll just shoot it and we'll go fight. But it don't always work. And this is the example of that. Oh my God.
Okay. All right.
Too big for our boots.
That is going to be so as you let out a scream, Damien next to you watches and is trying to yell to Brandon. He's saying, "Pop's here!" But Brandon, is Pop's here! As a rat bites and then they begin to burrow inside your stomach. You let out a scream of pain, clutch the wheel and like fall forward onto the accelerator as it slams into the back of the vehicle. That is you on 0. That is the end of Manny. Do you want to try and accomplish anything with a final burst of hell yeah, Grayscale. With a final burst of action, Jackson?
Yeah, if I can send the car into a monster, then that's what I'll do.
Okay. Do you want to give me a final drive auto roll?
My
Here we
final
go.
drive auto roll. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
You like fall forward onto it and wrench the wheel. Damien screams, and you can actually feel them beginning to chew through your insides. One moves up your collar and latches onto the flesh of your neck and draws blood, and more begin to move over your back now, biting into everywhere and moving towards your eyes. You lean against the thing and move it around the corner, and just as a shot rings out from Mickey, and you can see the figure as it falls down towards the ground. It's still writhing though, and the car accelerates forward and towards it. I am going to roll a dodge roll.
Oh, heck you. I'm dying here, Dave.
You are dying
You're
here.
killing me.
It's unconscious, is it not?
It is.
Oh, very good.
It does not have no. And suddenly from inside, as you get towards it, it like latches over, moves, and you can see it stands for a moment. Sorry, or like it like pushes upwards its chest as your high beams pick it up. This car, which has been through so much, there's like corpse bits on the front. There's corn underneath it. There's rats on the interior, and there's a scratching from where the kid had to go at it right at the beginning. The body on the floor lunges up, and you can see gleaming blood where the bullet suddenly like plops out, and then you can see like the flesh knitting itself together and like pushing upwards into like a strange like knot of skin and muscle. The head wrenches around, and it was actually rebuilding itself together when you slam into it with the car. Can you go ahead and roll 4d10, Jackson?
Hell yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah.
You'd never ask. Roll 4d10. Oh, Windows notification taking away my focus. 18.
Pretty good.
Flattened. Spaced. Mickey, from the top, you took the shot. Manny cleaned it up. You hear a yell from inside. The vermin on the ground suddenly begin to scatter. Not in like a focus thing, but just mill about, seemingly relieved of some control from inside. Stanley, can you take another
Yes.
d6 of damage, please?
Absolutely. Just a d6?
Yeah.
Ooh, two.
Still with us for the
okay.
time being. Mickey and Stanley, what are the two of you doing?
I'll speak for. I was assuming I am dead. Like, I mean, this point,
it is going to just keep happening. It's just going to be a matter of time before. Exactly. Like, you can feel it seizing up. You can feel your heart beginning to erase. Stanley might not know it. Jamie, Stanley is dying.
I think Stanley knows it too, and I'm going to embrace it. And what I will do is I kind of lean back into the chair. I've given up the fight. I let the straight razor drop, and in the most beautiful high tenor voice, I use my 45 in singing and try to get through a beautiful rendition of Amazing Grace.
Hell yes.
When just at the highest note, the snake bites harder, and I go, and lean back into the chair. No.
Fuck yes. All right. Mickey, you might not. What do you do? You heard Stanley begin to sing underneath, and when you look down, you'll see like foaming, and he's gone, dead to the world.
He's gone. Okay. The rats have like scattered and stuff.
They've begun to disperse. Yeah.
Great. I'm gonna jump down from where I am, and I'm gonna walk over to the car. I'm gonna look in the front seat.
As you approach, Damien like kicks the door open and stumbles out to the ground. He goes, Pop, are you okay? And he begins to move through and towards the back door where his father is.
Okay.
You just ignore him.
I will just like. I wanna like, get to the car to see if it will still run, which I assume it will.
As you get to the car, Damien comes out and goes to his father, and you look into the front and you see Manny hunched over the wheel, still holding it, and rats like have begun to disperse, but some are still chewing on him. You can see like a wound on the side. His chest is actually like moving a little bit, writhing from something on the interior. No longer directed and now just panicking on the inside and just trying to find its way out. Make a sanity roll, actually. Let's see if we can wrap this up with 2 deaths and a madman.
What are we doing?
We'll definitely go to about. Actually, I leave it in your hands.
I haven't lost enough yet. So what am I losing?
Oh, take a D4.
All right.
Actually, take a D6, given the nature of it, and also Stanley's death. We'll factor the 2 together.
Oh, okay. All right.
Slap him on. Is that just enough?
Well, have you seen my death yet?
That's both. That's fair. That was from seeing Manny.
I was on 40. I'm on 34. No,
hey.
I needed to lose 8, and I've only apparently lost 6 according to that.
Somehow or another.
Is that right? Hang on. I have done the math. I'm pretty sure I'm good with this.
That's okay.
Yeah, you lose a 5th.
Okay.
No, I mean, I hope I added up how much I lost correctly. I think I have, but whatever. According to my math, I'm too short.
By scrolling up.
Please audit.
From here, Damien goes over to his father and begs him to try and help Brendan. Brendan has been flattened underneath the car and is unmoving and will not come back.
Very good.
At the moment, at least. Your 2 gangster comrades are dead. And how does this resolve?
That's a shame. Pull Manny out of the car and fling him into like the cornfields. I am hanging on by a thread, and we have established at this point psychopath. So just pulls him out, turns around to Damien and goes, "Get in the car." No.
He gets in the back with his father.
Yep. I will close the front door. I will get in the front, and I will, with the making sure the papers are still in the back. I will start to work my way back towards the road and drive out, and at some point we'll look in the rearview mirror, look directly at Damon and be like, make sure your father signs that. And begin to drive out and away and back, given that we've, dealt with the problem.
I love it. All right. And that's where we'll draw a close. Mickey will return to Boston with the papers signed, one of the Carmody brothers, and the corpse of the father, who Damien will continue to talk to throughout the journey. Manny's corpse will be eaten by the rats, where it's left to rot in the cornfields, and it will become yet more fertilizer which will turn into corn, which will turn into whiskey, which will feed the powers that be in Boston. It's the circle of life. Stanley, bitten and killed by the snake, lies like still there against the truck, and it'll be some time, I guess, before they're found. But I mean, you won't be consumed. At least you're inside the vehicle, unless you wish to be turned to corn. I think you're muted. Jim. Muted.
I've never had. I've been waiting all my life for someone to ask me that. I think I'm fine.
Awesome, and that's where we'll leave our scene. Well done, guys. I'd call that a successful mission because I don't know what else I'd call it.
Well done, Dave. Ripper session. That was great.
That was fun. That was weird. That was good. I love the grayscale, Jackson. That was really well done.
I tried to improvise one halfway through.
I almost did one too. I was thinking about slapping one on you. We should bake that. That'd be a pretty easy filter to apply.
Yeah, I just didn't want. Yeah,
that's fun.
I'm sad I didn't go insane.
We got close. We got close. Well done, guys.
It would have been fun. But either way, I think it either would have been Mickey driving away or Mickey just running through the fields in any direction, just shooting rats randomly.
That's awesome.
I think he does make an effort to drive over as many rats as possible as they leave, much like cane toads in Australia. If you see one, you've got to drive over.
And you possibly will for the rest of your days. Seek out rats and smash them.
Yeah, I think he maybe develops a mild phobia of rats.
Well, we'll see if it comes back. We can always. I always like integrating a one shot into something else. So maybe we'll give a nod to old Valentine if you ever need a psychopath with a hatred for rats and a eye for sniping nerds or whatever. All right. So that was Blackwater Creek. That's one of 2 scenarios contained within the Keeper Stream pack. I will say there is a bunch more content for that I stripped out just to simplify things so that we could get it done in a couple hours. It's a really fun scenario, a bunch of weird shit going on. So do check that out. And the other scenario, Miss Jews, we have also run on this channel where we did gangster shit. Jim ran that one, so that's a great time. So check that out, and we'll slap this one on the playlist with it. We will not be back next week, taking a break while we prep things together, but we will be returning the following. Should have had this baked, which is the second for us. First of April. That's easy to remember. And it will be...
1st of April or 2nd of April?
Yeah, depending on where
Given that it is the 2nd of April for us, this isn't a joke. We actually are going to be here.
Oh yeah, April Fools. I forgot about that.
I hate
the true April Fool is the time zone dickery that I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think it's at 4 p.m., but we are going into a time zone when at some point. Check Twitter. I will also
So we're good for 2 weeks' time. We're still on the same. The week after that will be 5 p.m. for our North American friends.
Rock and roll. PT. I'll update the Twitch schedule, and that'll have it all in there, so you can check all that out. And we also have the last session of our RuneQuest starter set playthrough is going to be this coming week. So hop in for that, and stay tuned for more RuneQuest goodness as we Bronze Age our way through Glorantha. That's not a verb.
Close enough's good enough.
It's all best effort sometimes.
Thanks, Dave, for the session. This was good fun.
Thanks for playing, guys.
Hey, Dave.
That was a good one. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Catch ya.